None of these COVID vaccines are 100% effective. Some in the early studies appear to be more effective than others, but none are 100% effective. The second thing is that none of these vaccines were initially developed to be effective against the variant, what we call the beta variant that we have circulating in South Africa. They were all developed against the original virus that came from Wuhan. And what we are seeing with all the vaccines, to a greater or a lesser extent, that their effectiveness is altered by the variant that's circulating in South Africa. What that means is they all appear to be somewhat less effective, but they do all appear to have activity against severe disease and hospitalization, which is very good news. But not all vaccines are equal in this regard. And so we have to look at every vaccine independently and say, what is the information we have here? What do we think about the effectiveness of this vaccine in the context of the epidemic that we have in South Africa? Do we think it's going to work against our variant? So that comes to the next very important thing that the regulator does and is doing with the Department of Health and with specialized committees. And that is that after we introduce a vaccine, especially as all of these are new vaccines, that we monitor what is happening in the general population with respect to this vaccine. In particular, we monitor looking for any safety signals that might not have been seen in the original clinical trials. So we monitor for safety signals. Is there anything that worries us? Not only in South Africa, but we're also looking around and working with the World Health Organization and other regulatory authorities, looking at safety signals that might be emerging worldwide, and then saying, is this something that could have been caused by a vaccine? How common is it? Is it very rare? And then how do we respond to it? But we also, because of our variant and because we don't know how well some of these vaccines are going to perform in the context of our particular virus, we are also looking at what we call effectiveness. So we're working with the MRC, with senior academics in the country to develop a national protocol that's going to monitor every vaccine that we roll out to say, how well is this vaccine working? Is it protecting? Are we seeing a lot of breakthrough infections? If we see infections, are they severe illness, or actually are we seeing that even if there are infections, that we're reducing severe illness and death? And so we're looking now at how we are going to measure the effectiveness of those vaccines in that in our context. So all of that's happening. So the regulator doesn't stop with just an approval. The regulator will be continuing to monitor effectiveness.